Welcome back. If you've been tracking with me so far, you know the core insight. You can't change a complex problem until you see it differently. And you can't see it differently if you're stuck in urgency, silver bullet thinking, or shallow solutions. But once you do start to see differently, you unlock a whole new path forward. Now, I want to take that one step farther. Because insight is powerful, but progress comes when you apply it. So today, I want to give you a practical win. Something real you can use in your work right now. Tomorrow, January 27th, I'm launching my full online course, Problem Resolver Pro, a complete 10-step method for influencing complex community problems. What I'm about to show you is just one of those steps, specifically step 3, causal mapping. The moment when people often say, "Oh, now I finally see what's actually driving this problem." To give you a real feel for the depth and clarity of the course, I'm going to share the actual lesson video from inside the program. Causal mapping helps you move beyond vague theories and surface level explanations to actually see the structure underneath your issue. Here it is. Let's start with a story. A parable from ancient India. 3 blind men were asked to describe an elephant by touch. One man felt the trunk and said it was like a snake. Another touched the ear and thought it was like a fan. The third man grabbed a leg and insisted it was like a tree trunk. Each man believed in his version of the truth, yet they argued endlessly because they couldn't see the whole picture. This story reminds us of an important lesson. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. This idea is essential when tackling complex problems, or what systems theorist Russell Ackoff called messes. Messes are systems of interrelated and ill-defined problems, and homelessness, our course example, is a perfect illustration. Homelessness isn't just one problem. It's a web of interconnected challenges. Temporary shelters, affordable housing, substance abuse, domestic violence, family breakdown. The key takeaway is this: a mess involves multiple stakeholders, each with their own perspective on what the problem is. This dynamic plays out in cities across the United States, where responses to homelessness often mirror the parable of the blind men. Some say, it's a housing problem, while others insist, it's a drug problem. Each perspective contains some truth, but misses the bigger picture. Our goal in this lesson is to avoid the one cause trap by seeing the whole elephant, or the big picture. We'll develop a deeper understanding of how your problem's many causes are interconnected, and from there, you can start separating symptoms from more fundamental causes. To understand the big picture, we're going to identify the first order and second order causes of your problem. Start by brainstorming the top 3 to 5 causes of your problem. To do this, focus on causes, not correlations. So you're not going to list something like age, sex, or race. These may correlate to some of the conditions or problems, but they are not the cause itself. Instead, focus on causal factors. These are usually variables that can increase or decrease in intensity for individuals or for groups experiencing the problem. Try to use nouns and not verbs. Be specific and concrete. And generally, you want to avoid adjectives. So instead of saying something like low income or being poor, you'd say income, which is a causal factor that can go up or down. Let's use our course example of chronic veteran homelessness to fill this in. Here are the 5 first-order causes that come to mind: income, cost of housing, substance abuse, social support network, mental health disorder. These are high-level, immediate contributors to homelessness. But don't stop at intuition or guesses. Ground your work in evidence. I strongly recommend searching for causal factors of your problem in peer-reviewed journals or using original primary source data. This approach not only increases the accuracy of your analysis, but also lends credibility to your findings, especially when collaborating with stakeholders or seeking funding. Now, let's take it one step further. For each first-order cause, identify 3 second-order causes, the factors driving that cause. For example, Income might be caused or directly affected by unemployment, VA and disability benefits, or money mismanagement. Again, it's useful to check the scientific literature for evidence. Here's what it looks like when we add the second-order causes to our map. Notice the arrows showing how one cause leads to another. With complex problems, you'll often see overlapping causes. For example, substance abuse could be both a first-order and second-order cause. So don't worry about duplications now. They're natural in a mess. And you also don't have to fill in every single second-order cause if you don't know them or can only think of one or two for each first-order cause. So now it's your turn to create a list of first and second-order causes for your problem. To help, I've included a causal map builder resource. It's an easy-to-use tool for building your causal map. Start by entering your first-order causes, then work through each one to identify its second-order causes. Take it step by step. No need to rush or feel overwhelmed. By completing this exercise, you're taking a critical step toward understanding the bigger picture of your problem. The work you're doing now will lay the foundation for future lessons where we'll explore systems thinking and refine your causal map. And don't forget, this is just a draft. You'll refine and improve it as we move forward. When you're ready, I'll see you in the next lesson. Where does the problem occur? Keep up the great work. You're making great progress. So, that's step 3. It's where the problem stops feeling like a puzzle with a single right answer and starts showing up as a system of connected forces you can finally understand and influence. And that's just one part of Problem Resolver Pro. In the full course, you get a complete 10-step method for working through complex problems, a structured, repeatable approach grounded in systems thinking and complexity science. Causal mapping is just one step. The other 9 guide you through making sense of the problem, understanding how it behaves, and identifying where you can actually be more effective in influencing it. Each step intentionally builds on the last. Nothing is random. The process is designed so the tools reinforce one another, giving you a clearer picture of the system as you go. Because real problem solving in complex environments isn't linear, it's iterative. And this course leads you through that process, step by step, in a way that's practical, grounded, and immediately applicable to your own community or organization. Every step comes with practical worksheets that guide you through applying the concepts to your specific context. Here's a preview of a few of them. The problem diagnostic helps you identify your problem's unique characteristics and how it behaves. The problem structuring blueprint is a step-by-step guide for breaking the issue into clear, manageable parts. The context survey helps you assess the broader environment and how it shapes the problem. And there's much more, worksheets for comparing solutions, engaging stakeholders, and selecting goals, among others. These tools ensure that what you learn isn't just interesting, it's actionable, grounded, and immediately usable on the problem that matters to you. One other lesson I want to highlight is the 5-part modeling lab. In the full course, we take the causal map you've built and bring it to life using a simple online modeling tool called Mental Modeler. This is where things start to really click. First, we convert your map into a dynamic model so you can actually see the relationships between causes and quantify how strongly each one influences the next. Then, we test changes. What happens if we adjust this input? What if this factor improves? What if that pressure increases? With just a few clicks, you can watch a single change ripple across the entire system. It sounds technical, but it's surprisingly intuitive, and I'll walk you through it step by step. Imagine 6 months from now, clearer about what's driving your problem, less reactive and more strategic, and finally gaining traction. That's what Problem Resolver Pro is designed to support. Change doesn't start from somewhere else. It starts with seeing your problem differently and knowing what to do next. And here's the exciting part. Problem Resolver Pro goes on sale tomorrow, January 27th. For the first week only, until 5 p.m. on February 3rd, you can get the full course for a special launch price of $99. After February 3rd, the price goes to $197. If you've been feeling stuck, if you want a method you can trust, if you're ready to stop guessing and start resolving, this is your chance. Are you in? Learn more at brianlindsley.com/impact.